Imagine a world where two people start with the same salary, the same opportunities, and the same financial knowledge. 10 years later, one is financially free, while the other is still struggling. What happened? It's not just about luck, hard work, or intelligence. It's about behavior, how they think about money, how they react in uncertain situations, and the choices they make day after day. Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money, reveals a powerful truth. How you manage money is less about what you know and more about how you behave. And here's the thing: behavior is not taught in school. 1. Money is never just about numbers. We often think finance is about math, calculating returns, interest rates, and investments. But Morgan Housel says it's actually a soft skill, like patience, discipline, and humility. Two people can have the same information, but make completely different financial decisions because emotions and personal history play a huge role. Example: during the stock market crash of 2008, some people sold everything out of fear, locking in losses. Others stayed invested, and over time, they recovered and grew their wealth. Same market, different behavior, very different results. 2. Luck and risk, the hidden factors. Bill Gates became Bill Gates partly because he had access to one of the few computers in the world while in high school, a rare opportunity in the 1970s. That's luck. On the other hand, countless brilliant people have failed in business due to bad timing, economic crises, or sudden illness. That's risk. The lesson? Don't judge success or failure too simply. Luck and risk play bigger roles than we like to admit. And in your own life, stay humble about wins and compassionate about losses. 3. Enough is the key word. In a world that constantly tells you to want more money, more status, more possessions, the idea of enough feels strange. But Morgan Housel warns that chasing more without defining enough is dangerous. There's a famous story about a wealthy hedge fund manager and a writer. The hedge fund manager made more money in a single day than the writer had made in his entire career. But the writer smiled and said, "I have something you'll never have. Enough." When you have enough, you stop making desperate, high-risk decisions. You protect your peace of mind. 4. The power of compounding. Albert Einstein supposedly called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. And in money, it's magic. If you invest $1,000 and it grows at 10% per year, it becomes $2,594 in 10 years. But in 30 years, it's over $17,000, without adding a single extra dollar. Here's the catch: compounding only works if you give it time. That's why starting early, staying consistent, and avoiding panic selling is key. Most people fail because they interrupt the compounding process. 5. Saving is freedom. People often focus too much on how to earn more, but forget that saving more is often faster than earning more. Saving gives you control over your time, your choices, and your future. It's not about being cheap. It's about creating freedom. You don't have to drive the cheapest car or eat instant noodles every day. But you do need to understand this. Every dollar you save is buying you something far more valuable than a new gadget. It's buying you time. 6. Wealth is what you don't see. When you see someone driving a luxury car, you might think, wow, they're rich. But here's the truth. The car shows what they spent, not what they saved. Real wealth is hidden. It's the investments, the savings, the assets you don't show off on Instagram. Morgan Housel says, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. 7. Tails drive. Everything. In investing, A small number of events, the tail events, drive most of the results. For example, Amazon lost 90% of its value multiple times in its early days, but just a few huge successes kept it alive and turned it into a trillion-dollar company. The lesson: you don't need to be right all the time. You just need a few big wins and the patience to let them grow. 8. You're not alone in your financial fears. One of the most comforting lessons from the psychology of money is that everyone feels uncertain about money at some point. Even wealthy people worry about losing it. That's why the goal isn't to eliminate fear. It's to learn how to act wisely despite fear. 9. Long-term thinking. Wins. In a world addicted to instant results, long-term thinking is your superpower. Whether it's investing, building a business, or improving your career, the real rewards come to those who stay consistent for years, not days. Morgan Housel reminds us, planning is important, but the most important part of every plan is to plan on the plan not going according to plan. Be flexible, adapt, but never quit. 10. Your relationship with money is personal. There's no one-size-fits-all formula. Your background, upbringing, and values shape how you think about money. For some, taking big investment risks is exciting. For others, it's terrifying. The key is to build a financial strategy that fits your personality, so you can actually stick with it for the long term. Final takeaway: the psychology of money is not about getting rich overnight. It's about building a healthy relationship with money so you can make better decisions, avoid regret, and enjoy true financial freedom. Remember, save more than you think you need. Invest for the long term. Be humble about success and kind to yourself about mistakes. And most importantly, know when you have enough. Because at the end of the day, money is not the goal. Freedom is.